Well, a very, very good morning to you out there. Oh my goodness, we've been off the air for a couple of weeks, and we're learning how to get back on. I guess we're on the new network. Thank you to the L&M Network for allowing us a new place to stay, and thank you to all of you out there who have tuned in this morning. We are looking at the numbers here in just a little while, and we hope that we haven't lost too many of you out there, that you followed us over to the new network. And a new network, a bigger network, greater reach, and before we know it, I know we'll have a lot more listeners. This morning, as I am always privileged to have the one and only Pam Worth with me. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning, sir.
It's you did some fishing yesterday, right?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you for the invite. And it was fun to be in the studio with you today.
It's always a pleasure having Pam. I'll tell you what, she's always got something interesting to discuss. We were talking this morning before we got on the air how she was stopped at a hotel with her kayak. Of course, there's nowhere that she goes that the kayak doesn't go with her.
It's my kid.
And somebody tried to steal her kayak from the hotel.
Yeah, busted up the trailer pretty badly. I got on the water really late, but still managed to fish it.
And without putting that aside for a moment, how did it go?
It went really well. I ended up, it was a struggle. I have to be honest. It was a struggle. I didn't fish the area I wanted to fish. So to end up, it was what we call a slam tournament, a redfish, a trout, and a snook. And I got the redfish. You give yourself X amount of time to get back off the water because you have a check-in. So I got it right at the deadline, and it's probably the smallest redfish I ever caught in my life. But it gave me the slam, and it gave me top lady angler.
Hot dog! Congratulations!
Yeah, big shout out to Gulf Coast Kayaks who put on that great tournament, the Calusa Blue Water Trail. And the prizes were from Estro Bay, so I really appreciate that as well. A pink cooler.
We're going to have, who are we going to have on this morning? Cody. Is it Cody? Is he a kayak?
Cody Miller, yeah. Milton, excuse me. Sorry, Cody. He is the top bass angler, KBS, Angler of the Year. And I'm very excited to be talking with him today.
Yeah, we'll have him on in a little while. He can tell us a little bit about what he does. I know that... when I think of Pam, I think of this picture. I know I've said this several times, but it really is impressive. I think of this picture that she sent me where she's holding onto this sailfish, and doggone it if the sailfish isn't about 3/4 the length of the boat that she's in. So I think of that quite commonly, and how she's out there with these huge, gosh, who knows how big they are out there. And she's just puttering along and bringing them in and marking them down and moving on to the next one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And you'll probably hear from Cody. It's a struggle. There's the downsides we rarely bring out. But in the long run, it's a good time. I enjoy it.
So from what I understand, there's more fun than there is not fun, right?
Absolutely. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing it. For me, it's kind of a hobby that I've taken seriously.
When I had my boat in the days of having a vessel, one of the things I just absolutely hated, was to pull that monster all the way down. And I lived in South Florida at the time. I lived in South Miami at the time. And we'd pull it from South Miami down to Islamorada. That was one of my favorite places to go. And the part that I really hated the worst was having to pull this boat from South Miami all the way down to Islamorada. It wasn't a pleasant thing, but when you get there and you're at the ramp and you're getting ready to put the boat in, the heart starts beating faster. You forget about the trip.
Exactly. The worst part for me, and I think I took a picture of this once, is when you finally get home and you open the trunk of my poor little Kia.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and you've got 5 days of fishing stuff in the back of your car. And it's like when I told you today when I got here, I said, I'm really sorry. My car kind of smells like fish.
Well, it's a good thing it smells like fish. I could imagine if something like these guys tried to steal your trailer and they broke a light or something and you get pulled over and the cop walks up and smells your car. Oh, my gosh.
I know. It smells like somebody died in there.
Not
quite, but
dead body in the trunk.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lineup of people today, as always. Let's see. Robert will be calling in just a few minutes. Robert is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. We're going to have Peter call in. He's going to be my roving reporter this morning. He's at one of the shows. He's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on there and give us a quick report there. And then we're going to have Cody. Cody, we mentioned a little earlier. He's a kayak fisherman, a bass kayak fisherman. Dennis Frield. I haven't talked to Dennis in quite a while. Dennis is a gentleman I met at one of the shows. He's a stupendous artist, very, very, very good at what he does. He was the featured artist at the CCA annual meeting here at this last meeting down in the Keys. Laura, my friend Laura, will call in with a quick fishing report. She's one of the people who lives nearby. And then to finish it off, we'll have Mike Simcoe. Mike is with the kitefishing.com, and he'll tell us a little bit about what's going on, the latest and greatest in kite fishing. I used to laugh at people who used a kite to go fishing, but now, after meeting Mike and discussing with him the things that go on, this is not a laughing matter.
No, this is serious.
It's serious stuff.
Yep.
When you tell somebody, go fly a kite, well, if your spouse tells you, you really made me mad, go fly a kite, well, you can go talk to Mike and get yourself a kite and go fishing. You can enjoy it. It's a great thing.
Exactly. My eyes widen up. I get a big smile on my face and go, okay, honey, see ya.
Now, I think I asked you, I don't recall the answer, though. Forgive me. Have you used a kite? On the kayak?
Not me. No, a few of my friends do, but I do not. What is it? Bobby, Yak Rat? Yak Rat, that's it. If you look it up on Instagram, he does kite fish also. And it's just something I haven't gotten into yet.
What is the craziest fish story that you have for your kayak?
Craziest fish story? Probably that first sailfish. That first
that thing
sailfish.
Took you for a ride?
Oh my gosh. And they had all that sargasso seaweed floating in the surface, and I saw a bait jump, and I was really looking for a king. So I threw my bait next to it, and of course it got in the middle of the seaweed. I did, so I'm stuck there in an island of seaweed. So I go to yank my rod to get it out of the seaweed, and all of a sudden it takes off. And 20 yards from me, a sailfish goes straight up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to get the seaweed out of the way so I can pedal and turn my prop because it's all stuck in the prop, clear the line, reel, pedal to try to keep up because this fish is stripping me. I'm down almost to the end of my line, and I have 300 yards on there.
Wow.
Trying to catch up to the fish so I don't get spooled.
Yeah.
But that was probably the crazy. It was like pedal, 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 clear, 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 reel, 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 pedal, pedal, pedal.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Had a boat almost cut through the line. It was really crazy.
My goodness. Well, we're going to be looking forward to hearing some more of those crazy things. In the meantime, I've got Robert Warner. Robert, again, is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. Good morning, Robert. Are you there, Robert?
I am. Are you?
There he is. All right. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning.
How are we doing, sir?
Interesting sailfish story. I like that.
Crazy way to catch a sail, right?
Yeah, and they're back. They're everywhere right now. So.
Yep, in January, the Extreme has their kayak tournament again for sailfish. I think it's around the 13th of January.
Yeah, most of the sailfish tournaments are December and January. So, but my friend Patrick Price at Daymaker Charters has been pulling them in daily now. So.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, what else can you tell us about?
Back.
Yeah.
What else can you tell me about this morning, Robert?
Well, as far as fishing goes, I can tell you this. The mahi are also back. They seem to run around with the sailfish. And there are some huge gag grouper being caught up in Crystal River. Dan Clymer, Crystal River Fishing, sent me in some pictures. Just some enormous gag grouper coming out of there.
Wow.
Big black groupers down in the Keys, along with the mahi and the sailfish. The sailfish are pretty much all over the East Coast now. I've got reports all the way from Melbourne down. So they're out there. And bottom fishing continues to be good. These cold fronts tend to move the grouper in closer and move some of the other stuff in closer. And it's a good time to be out there.
Yeah, we've been catching a lot, too. A lot of the guys are catching them straight from out of the Tampa area, straight from the bridge, the Skyway fishing piers, as well as from shore if you're on near a rocky area.
Wow.
Yep, they've got some shore groupers.
Yeah, these cold fronts pushed them in closer, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, you've got to the end of the month. Doesn't it end the end of December?
Yep.
So
end of December is it.
Everybody
I
out?
intend to go down to the Key Largo with my friends at Against the Grain Charters and try to find one of those big black groupers. That
Yay.
catching, so.
Well, that sounds like fun. I just going to remind people, go find your favorite captain, book a reservation, because it's just about over.
So the end of December
Yes,
represents
it is.
what?
It's the end of gag grouper season.
Oh, okay. Mr. Know-It-All over here. I don't pretend to know it all.
Gags and black groupers go off in December 31st, at least on the East Coast. I don't know what the black grouper is on the West Coast.
Yeah, but I think it's the same, sir.
Yep.
Robert, we don't talk much about it anymore. How's the water quality?
The water quality has improved greatly.
Thank you, God.
But then the water's cooled off, so the algae doesn't grow as well. So, this has always been a summer problem. The water, the green algae and all of that has always been a summer problem, which is why they need to address what they're doing with that water in April, not wait till the middle of July to figure it out. So.
Yeah. Point well taken.
And I think, Pam, where were you fishing this weekend? This last week?
Yeah, well, I was fishing yesterday at Mount Lachey, which is the north part of Fort Myers. And some of the slams were 80 inches. There were redfish tailing. I'll tell everybody, go to Pine Island. There were redfish tailing all over the place. Unfortunately, with the thing on my trailer, I didn't make it that far. But the guys had a blast out there. Estero Bay also brought in big numbers, big fish. So the water is clearing up and the fish are coming back. Please remember it is CPR, catch, photograph, and release for redfish and snook. Although I heard Chatwitska, I'm saying that wrong, that they released that they can have snook now. Did you hear that, Robert?
No, I didn't. I don't know any place on the West Coast that is allowing them to keep them yet, but...
I heard they lift the ban, but I only heard that through hearsay. I didn't see anything from FWC.
But if they really want to catch a snook and keep it, come to the East Coast. We didn't have that big fish kill, so come over here and catch them. Don't let them go over there, please.
Let them build back up again. I had these. I had a couple of kids on a while back who dive and fish over in the West Coast, and one of the things that really stood out in my mind is I had asked them, you guys are down there on the bottom. You see what's going on. The fishermen typically are on the top of the water. You guys are down there, at the bottom looking and seeing what's going on. And what's going on. And the report that they gave back was quite positive that the conservation with regard to the snappers was just proving to be one of the best things that they've done. They said there was an enormous amount of snappers down there, that the fish were returning, where at one time it was very sparse. So the conservation, it does work. You have to be a little humble, maybe might be the right word. Don't keep the fish. And one of the things that I've learned that I have told people, some people know this like they know the sun's coming up. I didn't. When you catch the fish, be careful how you hold the fish, because you want to return the fish unharmed as possible. And if you hold the fish in the wrong position, you can actually harm the fish. Explain that to me, Pam.
Certain fish like snook, for example, especially big snook, if you hold them up like you see the bass photos where people are hanging them by their jaw, snook have very weak jaws because they don't really crush like a redfish crush their food. So if you hold them by the jaw and they wiggle or anything, you can actually crack their jaw. So hold them horizontally and support that belly. You don't want to pick up 25, 30, 40 pounds, depending on the size of the fish, by its jaw. I mean, how would you like to be held by your jaw? Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah. So I'm always learning. That's one of the things I enjoy about doing this show. I don't pretend to be a professional. I am an amateur, but I'm always willing to listen to other people. And one of the things that I so much enjoy is always learning something. I had never known about that fish thing until you guys brought it. I think Robert, was the first one who brought it up. Robert, what fish was it that we're not supposed to take out of the water?
You're not supposed to take sailfish out of the water.
That's okay.
A lot of people do just to photograph them and put them back in, but you're actually supposed to just take them around to the stern of the boat so you can get an accurate measurement, or someplace along the side of the boat where you can get an accurate measurement, take their picture, and if you want to get them out, you've got the measurement, and you get their picture and you let them go.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the other thing with the snook and stuff, these bigger snook, if you hold them vertical, their insides, it messes with their insides as well. So, just don't, if you're taking a picture of a snook, please keep them horizontal. If you're going to put them back in the water, put them back in the water nice and gently, and make sure they're swimming before you release them. So
yeah, what's the old rule? Let them suck your thumb. When they release your thumb, they're ready to go.
Pretty much.
Hot dog.
Yep.
So you really
You end up
put your
with
thumb
a
in
little
there?
messed up thumb, but it's okay.
I wear gloves. No, they don't have like teeth like a snapper
No,
does.
it's just sort of like gravel.
Yeah.
It's,
And again, they don't chew; they just inhale.
No.
So they don't have that
Yep.
strong jaw.
Uh-huh.
So it's
So
not-
have you had actually taken your thumb and put it in a fish?
yeah. Hold it
yeah,
with
the one
thumb.
thing I will tell you about snook is for those out there who have never caught a snook, stay away from their gills. Do not grab a snook
Oh.
by the gills. You will regret it. You will lose your fingers.
Razor sharp.
Yeah.
I remember
Yes,
that from a
they
kid.
are. So,
I remember that from
you can always
being
tell
a
the
kid.
new guy. It's the guy with the cuts all over his fingers.
Well, we are approaching January, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a whole bunch of tournaments coming up here. Can you tell me anything about that?
There's a whole bunch of sailfish tournaments coming up from Merritt Island all the way down. The sailfish tournaments, like Pam and I were saying there at the beginning, they all start this time of year. So the big Stewart Sailfish tournament's coming up. The Captain's Club in Melbourne or Merritt Island, wherever that is, that one's coming up. They will be coming everywhere, all the way down to the Keys.
And before I forget, because we're almost up against a break, if people want to reach you, Robert, and one of the things, my friends, is Robert is willing to take your stories if you want to submit a story to him. Kind of fill us in real quick about that, Robert.
Yeah, just send whatever you're going to send us to pages@flfishmag.com. That's the website, is flfishmag.com. That's the website for the magazine. And yes, any and all articles, advertisements, any of that's coming in needs to be in by December 15th. The deadline is the 15th every month. And yes, we welcome articles, ads, videos, pictures from anyone, anywhere. By the way, as Pam will maybe tell you, we're doing kayak fishing and ice fishing this month. I've got some friends from up north going to help us out with the ice fishing part.
Hot dog.
And Pam's going to help us out with the kayaking part, I hope. So,
Pam's going to
And
give
Rosie
you the...
White, I knew she's doing an article for you too, right?
who?
Rosie.
Oh, yeah. Yep, she's doing one for New Canoe and her.
And I'll do one on picking a fishing kayak, what you look for a kayak to go fishing in.
Hot dog.
Yep, and Marie Verenu, who is up in Canada, is going to send us a bunch of stuff on ice fishing. I told her this is something people in Florida know absolutely nothing about. So pretend we are complete idiots because we do not know. So,
Well, Robert, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to find Robert, you can find him on Facebook. It's Robert Warner. If you want to look him up online, it's the Florida Fisherman Magazine. Always a pleasure to have you on, Robert. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Have a wonderful
have a great day. Welcome to your new home.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, my
All right.
friends, it's that time. Don't go away, because...
Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
What happened to the good old days when people were loyal and we all had fun without drama? Where every Saturday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern, we invite you to join Encounters with the Neelys and discuss endless topics and throwbacks of the yesteryears. Bringing back to you retro interactive radio to the fullest. And yes, you got it. It's Throwback Saturdays with your hosts, Dr. Darryl and Dr. Katie Neely, turning back the hands of the father time and bringing people back to a place of peace. So get down, get sassy, and get jiggy with us. Oh, just don't drink while you're listening, because we are not responsible for the damage that comes from spitting it out while you laugh. So join us on Encounters with the Neelys, exclusively on the LNM Radio Network.
Grace has some pretty stellar arms, like Serena Williams good, but her face is pretty disgusting.
Someone please tell him to go back into his closet and leave us alone.
Britney's face is so stupid and I hate her so much. It's like a scientist created her in a lab to annoy humanity and didn't even do that good of a job.
Megan reminds me of a troll doll that came to life intent on killing us with her stupidity.
Why is Grace's head so big? It definitely has nothing to do with how smart she is and probably everything to do with how bloated she is.
He's so funny. Just kidding. Who would find this disfigured flamingo funny?
Never post a selfie of yourself. You look so ugly.
The only reason you have so many views is because we think you're a freak and we can't look away.
Megan is the main reason that the world sucks so much.
I would rather get cancer than listen to another Trevor Moran song.
You are a mistake. You should have never been born.
Drown yourself in a shallow puddle, please.
Wow, I hope she's sterile.
These really stopped being funny a long time ago.
You're so much more than the things that people say about you.
Those people have no right to say cruel things to you to make themselves feel better.
It's okay that you sound different than everyone else.
That's what makes you so special.
We will not tolerate it.
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 Every day, people make me feel like I stand out simply because of the way that I look.
Every day, people make me feel small.
Every day, I face the cruel words of bullying.
And every day, people tell me that I'm brave for enduring this humiliation.
But we're not the brave ones.
It's the ones that say no to the bullying.
The witnesses.
If we all join together, there's nothing that we can't do. We will no longer be the silent majority.
When we see bullying online,
We will let the world know that we're going to take action with the eye.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
Our actions will overpower cruel words.
I am a witness.
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 There is power in words.
But it's nothing compared to the power of the actions that we put behind our words.
Visit eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more.
I am a witness, and so are you.
I'm gonna stand by you.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. Shark, fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and allowing us to just have some fun with you this morning. We had Robert with the with the Florida Fisherman. Kind of tongue twisted there. The Florida Fisherman magazine. And my next guest, he's kind of going to be an on-site reporter for me this morning, is Peter Camerano. Peter is with J-Cam Lures, and he's going to tell us a little bit about where he's at and what's going on there. Good morning, Peter. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning. How is everybody today?
Fine, fine. Good to hear from you again. So what show are you at, Peter?
We are at Fort Pierce in the second annual Cove Marina boat and marine market show. It is an absolute beautiful day right now, but we are all in the process of getting ready for some pretty severe weather that's on our way, should be hitting us in a couple of 3 hours.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that.
And what becomes interesting is when you're looking around and there's 100 vendors with tents up and all their products out to be displayed. Another 75 at least boats around, all in the open, and now you've got to worry about weather coming in.
Wow.
What becomes the dangerous part with it is that the tents are just weighted down, but my tent, for instance, has taken off twice on me where it has snapped supports in it and so on, and that had to be fixed.
Wow.
So we are all getting ready for that. But a great show. We've got
So
everything
basically-
from next to me. I'm looking at wooden chairs made at Adirondack wood. I've got a food with Gulf-based seafood that must run 75 to 100 feet long, with all kinds of seafood and comfort foods that you usually find in circuses and fairs. A lot of people with great clothing. It's surprising what you can see. Rods, reels. Of course, I've got my lures here, and a gentleman just down a few booths down has got one of the most unique lures I've seen. It's all hinged, and it's about 6 inches long, and there's a hinge every inch or so. So when this goes through the water, it is truly vibrating. And obviously, there's a lot of what we refer to as, "Hey, I'm cleaning out the garage, and instead of throwing it away, let me see and doing a garage sale, let me take it to a market." So we're sitting here, and it is so nice to do this in this kind of weather right now than in July when it's 95 degrees and a humidity at 110. Okay.
So basically, what you're saying is it's a great event, tons of things to see, and people need to get out there now. Now is going to be the best time.
Yes, if you're in the Fort Pierce area. There's a DJ here that can be heard all over. So you've got music. If you're inclined to let's just put quotes, an adult beverage, that is available also. It is if you're Christmas shopping and you have an angler definitely in the family that you want to look for something that's unique, this is a place to come. Because you've got artisans here that are creating things that you're not going to see in the department stores at the mall. And besides that, you've got it is well organized. There is an admissions. And I think it's worth the admission. It's $8 a person. Under 12, I believe, is free. But it is you want something to do today, and you can beat the bad weather? Absolutely. Cove Marina on the Seaway Causeway going over to the Inlet Park here in Fort Pierce. Otherwise than that, the fishing still is surprisingly good as far as mahi off of Palm Beach. Wahoo and sailfish are starting. The winter wahoo sailfish are starting to come. I've gotten a report out of the Keys last weekend. One captain, they pulled in 2 40-pound plus. No, it was a 50 and a 30-pound wahoo.
Nice.
Now, I don't want to brag or anything, but they were both caught on JCam lures.
All right.
I had to sneak that in. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
It's all good.
So I'm looking at the the radar for
right over
Florida.
Tampa.
Look at that, will you? There is some serious stuff coming in, already hitting parts of Tampa and north of Tampa, Homosassa Point, Homosassa Springs, going across the state. I didn't even know anything about that.
Yeah, there's a front coming through. I get to drive through that today.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been tracking that the last day or so.
Wow.
Because that is a decision that spectators have got to make. Are they going to go out and venture in around, or that whether we as participants, we are looking at it as a calculated risk. Now, if my lures get wet, that's no big deal. But when you have people out here with clothing, paintings, artwork, and things like that, they could stand a substantial financial risk. So we all watch it, and kind of like right now, everyone is scaling down.
I think
is
that
also
would
the
be the
optimism
prudent
to
thing
say
to
it's
do.
going to dissipate. It won't hit us, okay?
Yeah, I think
I've
that
seen
would
that
be
before.
the prudent thing to do, is to be prepared for this thing. I am completely, really, I'm shocked. And it's funny, it's ironic. I usually check the radar before I get on the show to kind of give a weather report, and I'm doing some different things this morning, and completely got by me. When I brought up the page, I was shocked to see what's going on. There's some really serious weather coming in.
It is. Right now, the winds earlier this morning were down around 5 miles an hour. We're probably pushing 10 right now, and within another hour, it's suspected that we'll be looking at 15, and by 11, we'll be in the 20 mile an hour steady range. So we're looking at an interesting day.
Well, I wish you the best there with regard to the weather. I wanted to take a moment and tell the people, one of the reasons I have you come on, some of my heartstrings here I'm going to share with the people, is to support small businesses, local-owned small businesses. When you do that, you are helping support the local economy as well. Peter is one of those people. He is a small, locally owned business. His product is made in the USA. He doesn't take stuff from other countries and put it together and say, hey, made in the USA. Everything is made in the USA by Peter. He's been doing this for just a couple of days, so he's got a little bit of experience underneath his belt. And that is one of the reasons I like to have Peter on. He's always got something to tell me about the fishing. He's got such a large network of people that he deals with. He can always be informative regarding what's going on with fishing, what kind of lures that are available. And I think if I recall, Peter, did you just come out with something new?
Yes, we did. In looking at when I first started, the lures were, in my mind, they were a success. And the following year, people were coming, well, what do you got new? What do you mean, what do I got new? It's what you have is working. No, what do you got new? So I have taken a definite interest in wahoos, and from the high speed to using on planers and so on. So most high speed wahoo lures, they're very large, they're expensive, and that's all they're good for. There's a medium-sized lure that you go to, but that's all that's good for. So what I did was I broke my wahoo line down into 3 segments. One is, and everything is with kits, accessories that are added to the basic J-Cam 5-ounce trolling lure. We take that, we put a double vinyl skirt on it, we put inline or single 10-aught stainless hooks. We build the hooks on 900-pound cable with 400-pound leader. You're not going to come back and tell me you got bit off, okay? But then the next step is that instead of the double vinyl skirts with the inline 10-aught stainless, we now got, I take Sea Witch, about 3/4 to an ounce, and on that I will tie 3 strips of Mylar with a single 10-aught stainless hook that's on a straight through 400-pound cable. Now, it becomes lighter. There's once again a lot of flash, which I'm a big proponent of. And if let's say I start with the skirt, and what do I want that to look like? And from there, I design the rest of the lure so that when you look at the J-Cam wahoo lures, the colors flow. They don't stop and change abruptly, i.e. taking a skirt, putting over a ballyhoo. Now, it works, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, but I'm talking, in my mind, my logic, my theory, I want to see things flow smooth. I want to see it move from the colors in the head through the Mylar overskirt, the nylon under, and then whatever I'm putting as an accessory underneath it with the rigging. Today was this weekend was the first weekend that I really showed it. In developing, people would come into the shop, look at that, and not even question this is what I want. Can you do this? Can you make it this way? And everything then becomes custom, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the reason for that is we can be that flexible because we are that small.
That's one.
It's like
That's
you can
one of the
turn,
things.
a center console a lot quicker than you can turn an oil tanker. But
That's one of the things, one of the advantages of dealing with a small company is that they're very flexible. They're not rigid and, oh, well, this is all we do and we can't, no, sorry, can't help you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm thinking about it, Peter.
Before I lose my train of thought,
Okay.
I want to go back to a statement you made about small businesses, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Venues just like this support small business. The promoter, Larry Burdick, he's all in trying to get everything ready for the weather coming in. But he provides a platform, all right? My booth for 3 days cost me under $200.
Wow.
So we're talking, basically $60 a day
Mm-hmm.
to have access to a event that has been advertised locally through the radio, through TV, some social media. It's an expense that most could not bear. Now, every other, and if you look at it, he does one probably 4 times a year himself. But you can go ahead and you can find something like this during season every single month.
Wow.
We go from here to Pompano, and then from there to Palm Beach, from there to Marathon in the Keys. So a small business person can get his product out without having to have a large asset base for marketing and advertising. So you can use this, and it generates cash right away. You got sales, you can then fund it and move on forward. So when you see advertised marine flea market or seafood festival, these are venues that help and support small businesses.
The nice thing too is
a little different way of looking at it.
Yeah,
but I'm looking around. It's helped me. Anyway.
It's a great target market too, because the people coming there are usually interested one way or another in fishing.
All right, yeah. So
that's right.
It's like
exactly.
having a captured audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Peter, I want to thank you. It's that time that we're going to have to
understand.
Take a break. Thank you so much for being my on-site roving reporter this morning. God bless you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And Pam, good luck when your kayak tournaments pick up again.
Thank you. Yeah, I got the kingfish coming up in January. Or, excuse me, sailfish. Sailfish in January.
All right, good luck with it, all right?
God bless you, Peter. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again for calling in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Peter Camarano. You can find him online. It's JCam Fishing Lures. He makes his own fishing lures, handmade here in the United States. Help promote a locally owned business by patronizing him. We'll be right back.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise!
Surprise! Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it. Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The views and opinions expressed on the L&M Radio Network solely belong to those who make them and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the L&M Radio Network or our affiliates and advertisers.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Ask 10 different scientists about the environment, population control, genetics, and you'll get 10 different answers. But there's one thing every scientist on the planet agrees on. Whether it happens in 100 years, or 1,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, eventually our sun will grow cold and go out. When that happens, it won't just take us. It'll take Marilyn Monroe, and Lao Tzu, and Einstein, and Morobuto, and Buddy Holly, and Aristophanes. All of this was for nothing. Unless we go to the stars.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it. L&M Radio Network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, we are back. If you're just joining, you missed out on quite a bit. And if there's something that you want to hear again, we do have the show on archives. The show's always archived. You can find it at thefishfloridashow.com. And thanks to the L&M Network, there will be an archive on the L&M Network as well. We also do an archive on the YouTube channel. So we have our own YouTube channel. So there's plenty of places that you can go to find, what you might have missed on the show. And we're always available on iTunes, on Roku, quite a few different places that you can go. We even have a new call-in line. So if you may have a phone that has unlimited time on the phone, but you don't have good access to data, you can't get the internet or whatever. We have a new call-in line. They were supposed to give it to me. I haven't got it yet, but you just call the number and you can listen to the show. You won't be connected to either myself or Pam, but you can listen all you want. So anyway, we are back. Good morning to you, Miss Pam. Thank you for joining me this morning. An honor and a privilege to have you here.
My pleasure. I always enjoy coming here.
This is it's always a unique perspective from Pam because she's literally on the water's edge. And, speaking of somebody who uses a kayak to go fishing, the next guest, Cody, tell me a little bit about Cody there, Pam.
Cody Milton, and his Instagram is Cody Yak Fishing. He is the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Angler of the Year, KBS.
Wow. Congratulations, Cody. And we have him on the line now. Good morning, Cody.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Great. Thank you. Congratulations again. Being a yak angler.
Ma'am.
I know what it takes. Can you just really briefly tell me a little bit about yourself and your year?
So I grew up in Central Arkansas, and I actually I think we talked about it. I actually moved to Florida for 3 years ago and worked in the golf industry for a little bit. So I know a little bit about what y'all got down there. I've done. I think this will be my 4th Sailfish Smackdown this year. So I'll be headed y'all's way here before too long.
So
But
where are you this morning, Cody?
I am actually on Caddo Lake right now. They're looking at doing a little practice for the national championship in March.
Wow.
So if I was doing a Heroes on the Water tournament down at Nacogdoches, Texas yesterday, and on the way back there were some guys that we were all just going to swing by and lay eyes on the national championship venue for 2019.
Excellent.
Okay, I apologize for interrupting you. Let's go back to tell us a little bit about what you've done.
As far as this year went, I think I fished 8 trail events and 2 opens. And I mean, it was a long year. I think I put on about 41,000 miles on my car, something like that. And it's for sale now. So I'm gonna sell it. I think I'm gonna switch to try to do the van life for next year. So maybe I can cut back on some of the cost of traveling a little bit.
Okay, so when you say trail, for somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about, what do you mean by that? A fishing trail? Are you walking a path?
No, ma'am. So the way the KBF runs their national events to kind of give everyone a chance in the states, from California to Florida to New York. Pretty much what they'll do, and it's going to be a little different this year. This year they're going to run 5 trail events in 4 different regions. So, and it's pretty much the easiest platform to try to win Angler. Or you have to have 3 of them to try to compete for Angler of the Year. But the way it worked this year, there was about 40 different trails across the U.S. and you had to go fish 5 of them, and they could to get like your official trail points for Angler of the Year. And they were everywhere. I think they have to have over 35 people or something, with 40 or something like that. So most of them have probably 40 to 70, 90 people, somewhere in there. Wow. They're good events. Some are better than others, but I hit 8 of those. I think I went to North Carolina, Arkansas. I went to the Stick Marsh twice because I love that place so much. And I think I went to Ohio, and we did the Lake Erie event in Wisconsin.
So what you're talking about, a trail is fishing events or fishing tournaments at different lakes or different regions throughout the year. And if they had 10, for example, if they had 10 events in 10 different locations, you had to fish at least 5 of them. Is that or something like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
And I take it that most of the fishing by the last championship you won is basically freshwater?
Bass.
It is. It's all freshwater.
It's all fresh. What is the craziest freshwater kayak story that you? I had a crazy story from Pam this morning. What's your crazy story?
From freshwater, I don't know. All of my craziness seems to always happen in the saltwater. I cut my finger off the coast of Tampa, I think 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh!
I was 3.5 miles off the Clearwater Reef #1, I think it was. And I was landing a 44-pound kingfish, and I didn't have a gaff, and I accidentally knifed myself with a fillet knife. It just slivered the whole. It didn't get the bone. I just kind of sliced the skin all the way off and got both tendons.
Thank you for sharing.
So that was probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. And I said, I tried to paddle back, and there was no way. I mean,
oh my Lord!
So I ended up calling the Coast Guard, and they came and got me off and I think they took me back to Honeymoon Island State Park. Y'all know where that's at.
Yeah.
Wow. Wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, I took a...
it was that's what got me out of the golf industry. That's why I'm still not down in Florida. Yeah. But, everything happens for a reason, and it worked out well. I work in the outdoor industry now and do a little bit on the side with some family business we have. So it worked out well. I love it down there, but Arkansas is not too bad.
Yeah. Well, that was my backyard. I'm from Tampa. So
I thought so. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll have to fish the next sailfish today or coming up.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
The only one I didn't participate in was last year's. I wimped out on the weather. I had conflict with another tournament, an inshore tournament, and just the weather. I wasn't going to beat myself up.
Yeah, it was pretty rough out there.
Yeah.
Especially that second day.
Yep. So yeah, I think.
When are you getting down there?
Well, I'm right now. I'm in West Palm Beach.
Okay, you're already practicing.
No. I'm not practicing. I had a tournament, inshore tournament in basically Mount Lachey over the weekend that supported.
Awesome.
Yeah, it supported their pathway, their kayak pathway, as well as oh my goodness, cancer funding. But anyhow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably be down the Thursday before. I may fish with Brian Nelly beforehand, though.
Nice. I think I'm going to try to get down there on. It should probably be Thursday. We may have to get in touch and do a little fishing.
That'll be fun. That'll be great.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm always, I kind of tease Pam because she sent me this picture, and I've talked many times about where she's holding this fish. It's about 3/4 the length of her boat.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to find something like that in fresh water. Have you?
That's true.
What is the largest? I'm just curious. What's the largest fish that you've caught freshwater, in terms of weight?
Yes, sir. It would have to be a paddlefish, and it'd probably be around 61, 62 pounds.
Wow.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a really, really good paddlefish on the Arkansas River, and they really stack up below our dam. So. And they actually they're filter feeders. The only way to legally catch them is snagging. So you actually either catch them with little crate baits, or you'll just happen to snag one while you're bass fishing or something.
Are they?
We kind of got after it a few years ago and got some in that 40 to 60 pound range.
Wow.
What is a forgive me for my ignorance. What is a paddlefish?
They are actually I think it's, them, a tarpon, and the alligator gar, the three oldest.
Holy
They're the only prehistoric fish still. They have this super long nose
goodness.
that comes out almost 2 to 3 feet, depending on how big they are.
Wow.
And they don't have any teeth, nothing, and they just filter feed on the surface. So they eat much like a shad does or a bait fish.
Wow. That's amazing.
But they grow to 66 pounds, so it's crazy. I think our state record's 91. So.
Wow.
Have you ever been taken for a ride? Pam's been taken for a ride a bunch of times. Have you ever been taken for a ride?
Oh, on the with a sailfish?
With any of these freshwater fish that you're catching?
The paddlefish, maybe.
Yeah. Are you there? Did I lose you?
Cody, we lost you.
Yeah, I think he's fading in and out.
He's on a lake. He could have lost his phone
he's out on. He's actually out fishing while he's talking to us.
I've done that before.
Maybe he's hooked into something. We'll get a live report of an actual fight going on there right now.
He's back?
No, he's trying to call in. I guess he's having a hard time. Cody, if you can hear me, you'll have to call in on the other line. This line, I can't put you on the air, the line that you're calling in on. And we're going to run out of time here in just a few minutes. So if you can call back in just a moment, that would be great. That's Cody Milton, and he is, what is he again, Pam? Tell me a little bit about.
He fishes the bass trails. He is the 2018 Kayak Bass Fishing Angler of the Year. And that takes, if you take inshore, offshore, freshwater, saltwater, if you take it seriously and you're really trying to be Angler of the Year, you're fishing more, you're away from home almost more than you are home. It's especially the bass guys. It's a lot of miles going from lake to lake to lake. I mean, I know I've slept at boat ramps before. I know he has. I've had cut feet and still had to go on. And as you hear, he tried to cut his finger off.
Oh my goodness! Wow, wow.
But I think he did over almost 50,000 miles last year. 34 lakes. He was in 21 states. So it's a tough road. You have to actually just totally love this sport and love the adventure of it to do this day in and day out. It's a never stop grinding.
You know, it's one of those things that if you love doing it, it's really not work, right? I mean,
exactly.
If it's something that you love and you're passionate about, it's really not work. It's more of something that is a love that work comes out of the love that you do, that you have for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he sent me a text. He says he's not sure what happened. He tried to call back in, but he wasn't able to do that. So we'll hopefully we'll be able to hook up with him again as we're rapidly approaching a break here in just a few minutes. Anyway, a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't know if it's on our end or his end, but I know he was out in the lake and he was out doing some fishing. So it's possible that he's in an area where the signal is weak, or we maybe have. This is the first time I've used this particular program, so we may be having an issue with the program. I've run some dry runs, and then everything seems to be okay. But here we are live on the radio, and son of a gun, if we haven't lost him, he's dropped off. So we're going to see if we can get him back on for a few minutes and talk a little bit more about what he does.
But if I've got his Instagram account. If you guys would like to follow him, it's Cody Yak Fishing. So it's CODYAK Fishing. COD Yak Fishing, and he's got some great reports in there, some great photos. And if you're a bass angler, he'd be a lot of fun to follow.
When we're talking about kayak fishing, I have a great deal of respect for you people who are on kayaks, first of all. But I'm always inspired by what people will go, like Pam for instance. There are times when you've driven your kayak to a point where you literally drag the kayak to the water, right? You don't use the ramp. That's got to be a lot of work there. It's tiring, but why do you do it? It's because of the love that you have for what you're doing. And it's one of those things that, again, I go back to it's not really work if it's a passion and something that you love. I learned a long time ago, if you do something you really like, it's really not work. It's doing what you like, right?
Yeah. It's never say die. And I think the worst part of it, and like I said, joking around, is when you get back Sunday night or real early Monday morning, and you look at the back of your car and you're like, oh my God, and I have to work in 5 hours.
I remember the days of going, we would go specifically for mahi-mahi. We would go for dolphin. And the inside of my boat was white. When we got done and came back, it looked like we'd literally been in a war. It was blood everywhere.
You were.
So I guess we're not going to be able to get Cody back on. He's having a problem calling back in. So what we'll do is we'll start the break a little early, and then we'll bring Dennis on. Dennis will be the next guest coming up here. Dennis is an artist that has been featured many places. I met him at one of the shows. I don't recall which. I think it may have been the
CCA,
the Ring show, the Quest for the Ring. I think anyway. Well, he'll tell me which one it was. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. So don't go away. You're listening to the Fish Florida Show.
Listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before?
Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet.
Those comment sections can be a little
harsh.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names.
I felt embarrassed. I felt humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this! So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that that's bullying. That's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle the situation.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
The L&M Radio Network has a subscriber chat room for you, the listener. Come interact with your fellow listeners and like-minded people and talk about the shows in a safe environment, from the paranormal to conspiracies and anything else L&M related. All you have to do is go to the lnmradionetwork.com website and click the official chat page button at the top of the homepage. From there, you can sign up for the cost of a cup of coffee. If you're a late-nighter subscriber, the chat room is absolutely free with your subscription. Terms and conditions apply. Then click connect and you'll be able to log into the chat room. We're here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the chat room is both for Studio A and Studio B. We look forward to seeing you there.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound.
you're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. And $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted. Which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education. I dare you to be somebody important. Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star. I dare you to stand up here. To call the shots. To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher. Be my teacher. Think you can change my life? Make me excited about science like you? Have a career that really means something? Then do it. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I'm waiting.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
L&M Radio Network, shining the light of truth 24 hours a day.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Having a little bit of technical problems here. I think the program that we used to bring the callers in locked up on me, so we had to start over. Anyway, hopefully we'll have Dennis on here in just a moment. And there we go. We'll have
Sounds
Dennis
like him.
We'll have Dennis on in just a moment, and we can go from there. Let's see, Dennis. Okay, good deal. He should be on in just a moment, and we'll have him come on with us. Dennis is an artist. I think I met Dennis at the Quest for the Ring, if I'm not mistaken. Did you do the Quest for the Ring? Did you do that one?
I'm not sure what you mean. The
I think it was
the
called
Extreme Kayak.
No, it was a fishing tournament that was put on by Jimmy. His mind, I can't think. My mind. Jimmy, the guy who used to own the Cowboys. I can't think of his name.
Oh, okay. Nope, I did not.
I think that's where I met Dennis. He was one of the featured artists there. He's also was featured at the CCA, this tournament, the convention that was down in the Keys. He was featured there as well. So hopefully we'll have him on in just a moment, and we'll be able to get going with what he has to tell us. In the meantime, Cody, I don't know if you're still listening, but Cody, we'll have you back on. I appreciate you calling in, and I'm sorry we're having a little bit of a technical issue. This is really the first time that we've put the program through the rigors, if you will, and we didn't have any of these issues when we were dry running. So We will have Cody back on. Very interested in hearing from him and some of the crazy stories. The paddlefish. I didn't know what a paddlefish was.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of a
crazy.
paddlefish. And 60 pounds?
Yeah, that's a monster. Well, he said it's a prehistoric fish. I have in my mind what it looks like. We'll have to look it up on Instagram afterwards. Or Google it.
Yeah, I have to see what it looks like. And he said it was kind of a cross between a gar and something.
Yeah, like I said, in my mind's eye, I can kind of see what this fish looks like, but that's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Anyway, hopefully we'll be able to have Dennis on here with us. Dennis, good morning. I hope that you can hear us now. Are you there, Dennis?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're just... Dennis, can you hear me? Well, we're having issues this morning. Technical issues. Oh, this is a wonderful thing about doing live radio. You never know what's going to happen. I don't know exactly what happened, but we do have Dennis on the line, but I guess he can't hear us. So let me see if we can reset. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. So don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of technical issues that we're going through, but we'll fix it, get it working for you. Don't go away.
Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What's up, Ricky Dillon here at the largest social media gathering in the world. So the internet is an amazing place, but sometimes it can be a not so great place with online bullying and trolling and stuff. Have you ever seen online bullying before?
Unfortunately, it's kind of common. Online, people can hide behind the internet.
Those comment sections can be a little
Harsh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
a good word for it.
I've been called many homophobic names.
I felt embarrassed. I felt
Yeah.
humiliated. It made me stop liking myself.
What if I told you there is something that you can use anytime that you see bullying online that calls attention to it in a nice way? Like, hey, that's not nice.
I wish that was the thing.
It's this. So anytime that you see any kind of hate online, go into your phone, go into the symbol section, post this I, and it says that that's bullying. That's not nice. So would you post this if you saw someone bullying someone?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like a lot more mature way to handle situations.
Find the emoji in your phone, send it to 5 of your friends, and let them know what it means to be a witness.
Go to eyewitnessbullying.org to learn more about the emoji.
The L&M Radio Network has a subscriber chat room for you, the listener. Come interact with your fellow listeners and like-minded people and talk about the shows in a safe environment, from the paranormal to conspiracies and anything else L&M related. All you have to do is go to the lnmradionetwork.com website and click the official chat page button at the top of the homepage. From there, you can sign up for the cost of a cup of coffee. If you're a late-nighter subscriber, the chat room is absolutely free with your subscription. Terms and conditions apply. Then click connect and you'll be able to log into the chat room. We're here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the chat room is both for Studio A and Studio B. We look forward to seeing you there.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. And $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted. Which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher. Or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher. Be my teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I'm waiting.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just gotta
trying as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
L&M Radio Network, shining the light of truth 24 hours a day.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. Caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, hopefully we have worked out the technical issues, and we have Dennis on the line with us. Dennis, can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me, Dennis? Unfortunately, I can't hear Dennis. I'm not sure what's happening. We tested the line a couple of times. It seems to be working. Dennis, make sure that your phone is not on mute. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Some technical issues that we're having this morning that we haven't run into before. I'm not really sure how to resolve it at this point. I thought we had it working. But Dennis, if you can hear me, I'm sorry I can't hear you. Make sure that your phone is unmuted, and hopefully we'll be able to hear you. Not a go. All right. Well, I'm not sure how we're going to take care of that. We'll have to see about troubleshooting on that issue. Anyway.
I'm going to blame Peter. I think Peter broke it with his long conversation out at the expo up there.
What did you do, Peter? My goodness. We are trying desperately to get him back on, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We will have to kind of work around that anyway. So, Dennis, I'm sorry if you can hear me. I apologize. I cannot hear you. We're going to have to try it again on another day, my friend. Thank you so much for calling in. We're going to have to kind of let you go because I can't hear you, and I don't know if you can still hear me. But I will call you. I'll get with you, and we'll get you back on the show shortly. Thank you. Anyway, that's Dennis Friel. When I have him back on, he can explain how him and I met. I think it was at one of the tournaments. I wanted him to come on and give us a little bit of an update. He was down in the Keys at the CCA, whatever that, what is CCA?
Coastal Conservative Association.
Yeah, having too many things going on in my mind at one time. He was the featured artist down there. He has some amazing stuff that he can show people.
CCA is a great program. If you're in Florida, please become a member. It's very inexpensive. They do a lot of coastal as well as interior work. They're working with Captains for Clean Water. They've got projects like one of them. Remember, Lisa told us they're doing 10,000 snook and 10,000 redfish that they're introducing back into the southwest area to help restock after the red tide. So I think that's an amazing program.
It's one of the reasons I enjoy having people like that on because I'm a firm believer that we should leave this place better than it was when we came, and we haven't been doing that. My generation has not been doing that. So do what we can in order to be able to make it a little better. And things like what they do for the CCA and the other gentleman, I can't.
Himes?
Is it Himes? He's part of the cleanup.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I
his
forgot
name.
his name.
Yeah, his name eludes me right now. But they actually go out and clean up old lobster traps and crab traps and things like that. Mm-hmm. Again, making it better than it was. This is the kind of stuff that I like to support because everybody, in that kind of situation, everybody wins, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of a great program. Enjoy the beach, yeah, but do a little project. Make it, if your kids are young, obviously teach them what to pick up and not pick up, but do a little scavenger hunt. Give everybody a little bucket and just kind of police the area around you and instill those qualities into your children that they have to, make it better or leave it better than what you found. And I remember camping with scouts. It was always never leave only your footprint behind.
Right. I remember those days. It's making it better than it was, before we got here. And that's something that, my generation has really failed on. And one of the things that I try to push as much as possible is, like you said, bring a bag. Is it CCA or is it, and I may be wrong, but there's one of them, Lisa Fitzgerald, has a tournament, and one of the categories is picking up trash.
Yep. That's the STAR tournament. It starts the end of May, and it runs through the summer, and it's designed recreational. It's a one-time entry fee, and it runs the whole summer. So it's not like you have to go out any particular weekend or weekday. It's a great family event. You can win boats and trailers and cars, very inexpensive. They even have a scholarship program for youth anglers, up to a $5,000 scholarship. So, and it's kind of, it's like every time you submit a photo, and that's all you have to do is submit the photo, you're put into a drawing, and you don't win by the biggest fish or anything like that. It's kind of luck of the draw, which makes it even more fun. That means the everyday angler or the weekend warrior, or even if you only get out once or twice a summer, you still have the same opportunity to win these prizes as somebody who's pulling in giant redfish every day. So, look into that.
I have never heard of a tournament that has a category for trash.
Yep, that's great.
I've never heard. Is that the only one, or am I mistaken?
No, that's the only, except for the guy who picks up the crab traps, and they have kind of a little tournament too.
Yeah, they're kind of related. Something I don't know.
They know each other. Yeah. They help
I
support each other.
I found out about one from the other, and it's great. Everybody wins when we do something like that. Those are the kind of things that I like to promote, where everybody wins, because when we provide something where everybody involved benefits in some way. Can you imagine? You might win, I don't know what the prize is, but you might win something for nothing more than picking up trash. I mean, that's an incentive all in itself. And then, of course, Pam mentioned about the scholarships. If I remember, Lisa was telling us about a young man who he won a truck or something, a truck and a boat, but because he was underage, they couldn't give him the boat and the truck, so they gave him a scholarship. You can't put money. How do you put a price on something like that?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great.
So hopefully we have worked out the, I don't know. We're going to find out in just a minute. Hopefully we've worked out some of the technical issues. I'm going to have take a break, and we're going to do a little bit of work in the background and see if it's working or not. And we'll be right back. So if you would please, you know what we're going to say. Don't go away.
Is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Surprise!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it. Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The views and opinions expressed on the L&M Radio Network solely belong to those who make them and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the L&M Radio Network or our affiliates and advertisers.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Ask 10 different scientists about the environment, population control, genetics, and you'll get 10 different answers. But there's one thing every scientist on the planet agrees on. Whether it happens in 100 years, or 1,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, eventually our sun will grow cold and go out. When that happens, it won't just take us. It'll take Marilyn Monroe, and Lao Tzu, and Einstein, and Morobuto, and Buddy Holly, and Aristophanes. All of this was for nothing. Unless we go to the stars.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it. L&M Radio Network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. Call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we have worked out the the technical issues. Isn't it fun, Pam?
Yeah, the Grinch. You have a little Grinch in there. He's trying to steal your show.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And Laura, I know you're on hold. Just hang in there with me. I'm going to bring Laura on in just a moment. But I wanted to give Dennis an opportunity. We had such an issue trying to bring him on. I wanted to give Dennis an opportunity to try to tell us a little bit about what he does. Dennis, can you hear me?
Hey, guys. There?
There he is.
Hey. Success. I guess the radio elves worked it out.
Hot
Welcome
dog.
aboard.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so Dennis,
How's it going, guys?
Good.
how did we meet, Dennis? I don't recall. It was one of the shows.
I believe we first connected at the last Jimmy Johnson event.
Yeah,
Hard Rock.
yeah, that's what it was. Okay. An amazing artist, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He, if I'm not mistaken, he was the one who was painting the guitars. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me, live painting the guitars every year. At that Jimmy Johnson event, I do an original painting on one of the guitars that they provide, and we auction it off and proceeds.
God bless you.
Proceeds to charities.
Again, where everybody wins. Everybody wins. How can you not support something like that?
Absolutely. No, I agree, and they do so much, and quite honestly, most of the organizations and tournaments and stuff like that I work with, there's usually a benefiting factor that we work through as well. Even for what we got coming up here for the Pompano Beach Holiday Parade, where proceeds and benefits are going to benefit Freedom Fighters Outdoors. which is a take wounded veterans fishing organization here locally in Pompano Beach. We couldn't be more proud of that as well. With Rhonda Bunker, crucial in putting all that together. She does a great job, as well as the support we get from Joey Cordy.
Excellent. Hey, I'm going to ask you a favor. Talk straight into your phone, okay?
You're kind of fading
Sure.
in. Yeah, you're
Can
fading.
you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Because what happens is the volume goes up and down. When you're not talking directly into the phone, it goes up and down, and it fades in and out on our end. I wanted to ask you, and I want to, before I do that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for working with my brothers, the vets, because that is another passion of mine. We send these kids out to see horrific things, and they come back, and seemingly our government turns their back on them, and they have nowhere to turn. And it's because of people like you and people that I know that work with the vets. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
No, it's something. I appreciate you saying that. It's something near and dear to my heart. My father was a Korean War veteran. I never served, but I have nothing but the greatest respect for people that make the ultimate sacrifice
Well,
for the
thank you.
betterment of this country.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Dennis, people want to find out a little bit more about what you do. How do they do that?
Well, they can follow me on social media, of course. My Instagram tag is @DennisFriel Art. That's DennisFriel Art. On Instagram. They can find me on Facebook under my name. And also, DennisFriel.com is my website. They can always catch up with me there.
And DennisFriel.com?
Yep.
And that's
okay.
Friel?
Friel, yep.
Okay.
Great. Dennis, I'm sorry I don't have much more time to spend with you. One heck of a technical issue on the last time slot, but I will have you back on again. I want to thank you for taking the time to call in. Wish you a wonderful day, sir.
Hey, and Dennis,
I appreciate it, guys.
Can you do us a favor? Send a couple of your photos into the show so we can put it up on the Facebook.
Put them up on the Facebook page, yep.
Absolutely. Sounds good, guys.
Dennis, thank you so much. It's Dennis Friel. You can find him online. The last name is Friel, DennisFriel.com. An amazing artist. It was really an honor and a privilege to meet him as well there at the Jimmy Johnson Quest for the Ring, I think, if I remember correctly. Wish you a wonderful day, my friend. God bless.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you. All right. Hopefully we'll get technical issues worked out, and we won't have any more of them going on. My next guest is one of my neighbors, actually. Her name is Laura. And, those of you who listen to the show know that I promote female fishing. Of course, I have a co-host who's the top female kayak angler here in Florida. But I do promote female fishing. And one of the reasons I do that is growing up, my mom loved fishing. And it was a family thing that we did. A mom and a dad and the two kids enjoyed it. We experienced the same experience together. And the result of that was, I believe, relationships being built stronger and stronger. Because there is, whether people want to admit it or not, there's a direct assault on the family today. So whatever we can do to hold our families together, I will promote that. Laura is one of them that goes out there, and she's not afraid to get her fingers stinky, put the bait on, and get down and jiggy with it, I think is what they call. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being patient and waiting. We had a bit of a technical issue on the previous time slot. Dennis, who you probably heard was on the air with us just a few minutes ago, couldn't keep him on the air with me for nothing. So we had to do kind of a reset and ask him to call back in for a few minutes and share some time with him. So have you been fishing lately?
I have. I just was fishing in the Bahamas last week. We caught some wahoo and dolphins, so that was a good time. And kind of this is the time of year where I start focusing on hunting a little more because the season is so short.
Yeah.
So I went hunting 2 weeks ago, and that was great because I took my son's friend from Boy Scouts and his mom, actually.
Wow.
And neither one of them had been, and it was just a fantastic experience.
How old was her son?
12.
Wow, I'll share this with you. At 11 years old, I fired my first firearm. I'm laughing because of what I'm about to tell you. It was a friend of mine who we had become very close, and his dad was an avid gun enthusiast. Took us out into the middle of nowhere at that time, which is all built up now. But he fired his shotgun. My friend fired his shotgun, which happened to be a 12-gauge shotgun. And it looked very easy to do. And he said, would you like to learn how to shoot? And, at 11 years old, my gosh, the sound me as a kid, I loved fireworks. So the sound that comes out of the 12-gauge shotgun is like a cherry bomb. So I said, sure. So they gave me the the rifle and I put it up against my shoulder, and they said, make sure you hold it tight and squeeze the trigger. Don't pull the trigger. Squeeze it very slowly and aim at this. And so I did that. And in the next moment after I shot it, I found myself looking at the sky. It knocked me down. It knocked me down on my behind, and I was looking up, and they were both just laughing hysterically at me. So that was a heck of an experience. But hunting is something that we don't talk about very often. We have in the past, but we don't talk about very often. It's something that I do support. It is something that is part of our lifestyle here in America. I think it's, apple pie, hot dogs, and hunting, right? Along with the fishing as well. So did you get anything when you went hunting?
We did. My son shot a doe. I shot a doe, and my friend, she shot a buck and a doe.
Wow.
And then her little boy, it's funny that you say that about shooting for the first time. We did target practice before. So his very first shot, he shot a dead-on bullseye.
Wow.
That's it. He said, I don't want to shoot anymore. He could only go down from there, so he didn't even go hunting. So that was really funny. He did not want to do worse than that. So he would be up for disappointment after, but he was so proud of that.
How cool is that?
It's just being out there in the woods, getting the time to spend with family and friends. And to me, a lot of times I'll just sit in the stand, and I saw a lot of deer, and I don't shoot them. I just take pictures of them through my scope, which is actually more challenging than pulling the trigger. So, I only shoot what we're going to eat,
Thank you.
And that's really it.
Yeah.
And just make a lot of memories.
It's a valuable lesson for young people to learn that you don't go out and just kill something to kill something. You have a purpose in doing what you're doing, and that purpose is to help you continue on with your life. You're going to use that animal for your food instead of just a trophy or something like that.
Do you also skin it and dress it out?
Yes, we do. Well, depending on the size, we didn't. We had larger deer this time when we went. If they're small, we'll, keep the back straps and the tenderloins and dress it out there. When we went this last time, we were getting sausage and a bunch of different things made, so we said we just dropped it off at the processor.
That's
save
good.
us the hassle. But yeah, we do that.
Yeah, because my first trip, I remember my dad made us to take our guns totally apart, name each piece,
Wow.
put it back together, and we had to show that we were proficient also in shooting before we could ever hunt.
Wow.
He wanted to make sure that you knew it wasn't a game. It was serious,
Serious stuff,
and
yeah.
you had to learn the hard part, and and then when you got home, clean it, do it all over again.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's right.
So
That's right.
I've not asked Pam this question before, so I'm going to ask her now on the air. I bet you have all the respect for firearms and what goes along with firearms because you've had that training early on.
Absolutely. I did the same thing. Now, we didn't do shotguns, but it was like BB guns, that type of thing with my kids, and same thing. They learned all about it.
Yeah, my first rifle was a BB rifle.
Yep.
It was one of those Daisy where it was a single shot. You crank it once and then you shoot. And then I upgraded from that to an air rifle, which is a little more powerful. And then the next thing was the shotgun, which I found myself on my behind on. But I will share with you, having experienced that at a young age like that, gave me a very strong respect for firearms. It's something I don't believe we experience on that level anymore today. I posted something on my Facebook account a couple of days ago. It was commercials that they played back when I was a kid about toy guns. I promise you, if that commercial was to play today, people would lose their minds. These are kids holding a make-believe machine gun, shooting caps and stuff like that. There are people who believe that in our society, guns do not have a place. I'm not going to get political. I'm just going to get real. Our society was brought up with firearms. I was brought up around firearms. I never, ever thought about, and having guns as toys and playing cops and robbers and cowboys and Indians never, ever occurred to me to take a gun and point it at somebody. One of the first lessons I ever learned is you never, ever point a gun at anybody.
That's
you
right.
never, ever assume that a gun is unloaded. And then if you ever have to point a gun at somebody, you better be prepared to pull the trigger. I've not ever experienced that. Thank you, God. I don't ever want to experience it if I have to.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is there was a time when firearms were readily available in this country, and we didn't have the issues that we're having today. I believe it's a mental thing. People are not been trained, just like we're talking about, from a young age to respect these things because they are extremely powerful. But above all, they're just another tool for us to use, just like a hammer, like a fishing rod, just like any other tool that we have. It's a tool that we use. Used properly, it is safe, and it can help you. Used improperly, just like any other tool, it can create havoc. So if you get anything out of this message, get this. At a young age, children need to learn and respect what a firearm is and what a firearm can do. As they grow up, we'll have less problems. We won't see these horrific things that we keep seeing, school shootings and mall shootings and things of that nature, church shootings. These are all, I believe, from people who don't really understand the responsibility of carrying a firearm. It's very shallow on their end.
Yeah, I think they look at it as a toy. The one thing we did not have in my family is toy guns. I don't ever remember in our house growing up as a child, nor in my house rearing my children, there were no toy guns because it wasn't something to, play with. A gun is not a toy. And I strongly, strongly believe that. I mean, you could have a different opinion. There was no cap guns. There was none of that. If you want to take a stick and go bang, 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 I'm good with that. But anything that resembled a gun was just not allowed. For my husband's birthday, I got him a class on concealed weapons because he did not grow up with guns.
Yeah. Yeah, and the opposite of what Pam just said. One of the guns that I had as a toy gun as a kid, believe it or not, fired a rubber bullet. But I never wanted to shoot anybody with it. It was always at targets or, up in the air or at lizards. I love shooting. Shooting those little lizards. So anyway, before we run out of time, Laura, I wanted to ask you, share with me a little bit. What do you do on the side? I want to say you're a nurse, but it's not a nurse, is it?
I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have a IV vitamin infusion company behind Palms West in Loxahatchee. And we infuse IV vitamins and glutathione, which is an antioxidant, and minerals, just for total wellness and preventative health. And it's really important to keep your immune system up, especially during this cold and flu season. And there's so many different benefits. It's becoming more mainstream now, but we've been doing this for quite a while now, and some of the benefits people are seeing are phenomenal.
I should drop by on my way home.
I was about to say,
3 days of fishing.
I seriously want to speak to you because I've been feeling really, really down, and I've heard I can't remember what it's called, some kind of a cocktail that you take, and it helps you.
Myers cocktail probably is the most common, but it's amazing. Some of the things that we're finding is we have one called the B Blast, which is IV B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, and B12, and I think that it cures depression. B6 works on dopamine receptors is what the latest research is coming out. So, besides the energy that we all thought we got from B12, but we're finding that the other B vitamins are actually more important and crucial in the body and having, experiencing more profound effects when we're infusing this. It's incredible. It's so exciting to me. My office is named B Vital Infusion. If you want information, you can go to B Vital, just the letter B, VITAL, infusion.com, and all our information is listed there.
It's Vital, like V like Victor?
B is in boy.
Oh, okay.
B Vital, infusion.com. And we're located in Loxahatchee in the office right behind Palms West.
Okay, Laura, one more time. Excuse me, one more time about the website, but say it slowly.
Okay. It's BVITAL INFUSION, BVitalInfusion.com.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I'm serious now. I'm going to call you and talk to you about having some kind of a cocktail because my brain has gone into fogs.
That's good. I encourage that.
And I have heard firsthand from some friends of mine, not that you personally did it, but some other people that are after doing this. It is a tremendous benefit for people. It helps you mentally as well as physically.
Right. I've even reversed a lady's Alzheimer's with it.
Wow.
That was on hospice with glutathione. So I'm so excited about this. I could talk forever. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Time for it.
Yeah.
But it's just not mainstream. There's not a lot of information, but I get to see these effects, which is what keeps me going and passionate about it.
Wow. Well, Laura, thank you so much. Laura Ballard, she's one of my neighbors. She's a very sweet young lady. She's been very kind and come over and do the dry run with me a couple of times, and I appreciate that. I'll have you back on very shortly, Laura. Thank you so very much for taking the time to call in.
Thank you so much.
God bless. Talk to you soon.
Okay, great. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the author of Silent Steps and Haunted, Finding an Explanation for the Unknown, comes a story so chilling it will haunt you for years to come. Krista is a young woman escaping her past, running away from her family, her traumas, and her God, hoping to find a new life in a different town. But when she is forced to make a horrible choice, she comes to realize malevolent entities have controlled the true darkness she has been a part of. That is when her real terror begins. Penitence is disturbing and evocative. It will tear down the walls between what is real and what is nightmare. Penitence is the new novel by the man called the new master of speculative fiction, Ira Robinson. Find it and all of his books at his website, originalworlds.com.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're in it.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
L&M Radio Network, shining in the light of truth, 24 hours a day.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. Call me a grouper. Stop fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And now your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right. Well, a very good morning to you out there, and thank you for joining us as we are slowly overcoming some of the technical issues that we have. This is the first day that we've run on the new network, a bigger network, a greater reach, more people, and kind of a learning process. Did a couple of dry runs. Everything seemed to run okay in the dry runs, but then we get on the air, and what do you know? Son of a gun. So anyway, I think we have our next guest. Hopefully we have our next guest, and that is Mike Simcoe with kitefishing.com. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Riscala. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. There he is. Hot dog. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for reaching out to me.
Oh, well, listen, I owe you a great deal of gratitude. Literally at the last minute, I called Mike and said, Mike, I've got a spot that's open. Can you come in and fill for me? And he's always there for me. Thank you so very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, you know, I kid around sometimes. If your spouse ever gets mad at you and tells you to go fly a kite, you want to talk to Mike because Mike will explain to you how you can fly a kite and catch fish at the same time. How long have you been doing the kite thing, Mike?
Oh, gosh, you know, it's been it's a little bit of a labor of love. Been doing it for about 35 years, plus or minus. Started back in the mid-'80s when I moved to South Florida. I graduated University of Florida, and of course I was a lifelong fisherman. But when I got to South Florida from, you know, what was Daytona Beach and north, I discovered that boats were going out and catching lots and lots of fish, particularly sailfish, which I loved, you know, by flying kites. At that time, the premier kite to use was a Bob Lewis kite. So I went out and bought one, and, you know, of course, I told everybody, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. So I got invited to fish a few tournaments, and that's when the challenge began. I wasn't too successful at flying the dang thing, so, you know, they looked at me kind of crazily, and I determined right then I better figure this out. So that's been what I've been doing for 35 years. Was that egg in the face kind of thing? Oh, absolutely. I've done that a few times, you know, on the golf course. You know, it was a one and done. I figured it out after that. Yeah. Well, you have always provided me with a tremendous amount of information. I really was very ignorant regarding kite fishing. I thought it was something that was amateurish, if there is such a word. And with the information that I have received from you, it's anything but that. It is extremely professional. There is a wide variety of, you know, I think to myself, a kite. Okay, well, it's a kite. It's a kite. No, because thanks to Mike, I found out that there are different kinds of kites. Kites that could be flown in a lot of wind. Kites that can be flown in a little bit of wind. Kites that can handle three outriggers. Kites that can handle two and one outrigger. Kites that are designed to fly more than one kite at a time. Even a special rod for the kites. So it is not quite as simple as I originally thought. And from what I have gathered in speaking to different people, it is a tremendous advantage when you're out there on the water and you have this tool to use with you to help you bring more fish in the boat. Mike has many times has given us testimony where they're out there. How often do you run two, Mike? I'm just curious. How often do you run two kites? Well, you know, in my particular situation, I run two almost every time I fish because, you know, it's not complicated anymore. I try to make it simple so you know, we can reduce the stress that's involved in it. And then when you fly the right kites, properly designed kites, you can turn them very far to the right. You can fly them high or low, and you can fly them to the left. So, you know, you can spread them out, which gives you a nicer presentation as far as the bait goes. and it gives you that 2 or 3 more additional baits that you can fish while you're out there drifting or power drifting. So yeah, I fly too. That gets me the option to add 6 baits to the spread.
And if people want to get more information, and you are an entire library of information when it comes to kite fishing, and I greatly appreciate that. If people want to get more information about that, how do they do that?
Well, if you go on my website, which we're currently under construction, it was, I had quite a bit of nice content. Now we are adding more and more videos, so I had to expand the capacity of this site. So, but you can still get some good information on my under construction site, which is kitefishing.com, and my phone number is on there. And I'm more than happy to help anybody that wants to learn about this and call. So, the information is free. Any questions, I'm more than glad to answer. So that's my pleasure.
I want to share this with you, something that it's kind of a personal belief of mine. Anybody that shares knowledge with other people, particularly knowledge that can help them, it's an expression, in my opinion, it's an expression of love. This is something that, because you care for other people, because you care about other people, you share the information that you have with them, and it helps make their life a little bit better. And that's the kind of stuff that I like, and that's the kind of stuff that Mike does. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure. And you couldn't have said it better.
Well, this is why I like having people like you on the show. I don't ever pretend to know or to be a professional at fishing. I just know that I love fishing and I have a passion for fishing. And in my life, it's been something that has helped keep my family together. And that is a passion of mine, to help keep families together. When we can get somebody on the air that explains in detail what is available to them, particularly with kite fishing, because I didn't know spit. Just to be honest with you, I didn't know anything about kite fishing. And someone like you comes along and just, fills me full of all kinds of information. That is worth a lot to me. It really is. And I greatly appreciate that. So again, I want to thank you, Mike. I'm going to take another call coming in very shortly because he got cut off a little earlier. And I will have you on for a full slot here coming up in the next week or so. Will you be available then?
Absolutely, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mike.
Because it's the heart of, or the beginning of sailfish season.
That's right.
And I'd really love some tips. That's what I'm going to be querying you about. Some really good tips on rigging for sailfish and using the kites in connection with that. So I look really forward to that show, sir.
Oh, can't wait.
Mike, if I'm not mistaken, January when all this stuff starts, right? The sailfish stuff?
I have a first tournament, and for me, we call it like shaking. It's a shakedown cruise. But the very first tournament for me is on December 22nd. It's the Christmas Classic. It's put on by my friends, the Saber Axe, and a little local event here in West Palm Beach, Florida. But there will be boats from Miami, basically from Vero Beach to Miami joining.
Wow!
It's a one-day event.
Wow!
And then we get serious after January. Silver Sailfish Derby starts on the 10th of January, so looking forward to that.
Well, I'll try to have you on before the end of the month, or maybe right at the end of the month. You can give us a report about the tournament that's on the 22nd and tell us what happened during that time.
Fantastic. Looking forward to that.
God bless you, Mike. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. It's Mike Simcoe, kitefishing.com. If you want to reach him, you can find him on Facebook as well. Thank you, Mike. Wish you a wonderful day, my friend.
Thanks. Oh, appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
All righty. And earlier today we had Cody. Cody was on with us, but something happened, and so hopefully we can bring him back on. Cody, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hot dog. All right. So we've got Cody for just a few minutes, and there was a couple of things. I think Pam wanted to ask you something, and we got cut off.
I just wanted to follow up with you on somebody who's just getting into bass fishing. Can you give me you've gone all over the United States basically fishing. If you were going to go in Florida, what are the top 3 rigs that you would bring with you, setups?
For me, like the Devil's Horse is such a signature bait down there. And it has to do with all the needlefish on the St. Johns River. So for me, it's a prop bait. I've got to have something to punch with. So any type of slipper rig or like the weedless jigs, pretty much. And a swim bait. Like probably most of the fish I've caught down in Fellsmere have been on swim baits.
Okay. Do you have a particular colors?
I'm still, the easy shiners are the ones I use in like the Houdini color. that seemed to always be like a signature down in Okeechobee and that part of Florida with I guess all y'all's gold shiners you got. That's what makes the bass fishing so good down there.
Excellent. So, flipping a little bit to saltwater, it sounds like you're going to do the sailfish tournament.
I will. Yep, this will be my 4th one. So I think the year you were in the top 5, I think I finished 10th.
Yeah.
the year you were in second, I think the year I landed one in the tournament. So
yeah, it was so funny.
I'm still trying to cash my first saltwater check.
Yeah, that was surprising to catch 2 in 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's how it happens. Like you get in the, it's like you crazy because you'll see somebody jump one, and then 30 minutes later you'll have one in the same area. But yeah, I'm trying to bring some bass guys with me. I think possibly bringing like Jay Wallen, some Jamie Broad, some big names in the KBF side of things. They're all looking pretty forward to it. So
excellent.
We'll hopefully have some freshwater representation this year.
I just hope we have decent weather. Like I said last year, I bailed. There was no way.
That was brutal.
I'm at the age where I don't think I have to prove anything anymore.
Yes, man.
One of the joys of getting older, you just,
Yeah, I don't cherish swimming back in 300 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Wow. So when are you expecting to come down to Florida?
I believe I will leave on Wednesday, like probably Wednesday afternoon. I should get down there, early Thursday. And I'll still try to get out for at least, half a day or something. So
in dates,
we'll see. It's about a 16-hour trip for me, so I'll have to time it right to get there. Still be able to fish.
So we're talking the middle of January. That's like around the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's a great event.
Yes,
if you're in the area, come out and watch it. We need to get Joe Hector on.
Well, give me his contact.
Yeah.
So where's this event you're talking about, Pam?
It's in Pompano Beach.
Yeah. Oh, and so the two of you are going to be in this event, both of you?
Sounds like you are.
We will, yes, sir.
Oh, competition.
Now, I'm always out for a good time, but my rule is if the bait boat can't deliver bait on the water, then I don't need to be on the water.
That's a pretty good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I always check in with Joe Bates at Hillsboro Bait, and if he's delivering it in the parking lot,
he's a good guy.
Then I'm staying in the parking lot.
Well,
if I hear the music.
We are completely out of time. Cody, thank you for calling in. I'm sorry that we had technical issues with you. We will have you back on again.
No problem. I appreciate it. I'll enjoy y'all's show.
God bless you, sir. Much appreciated. And again, I will have you back on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the Fish Florida Show. Your host, Riscala, with my one and only fantastic co-host, Pam Worth. One of the top female kayak anglers. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for help spreading the word out there and letting other people know where we are and our new home. We'll see you in a week.